I wrote a book called Poetry to God and Thoughts on Life's Journeys. A lot of the poetry is to God, but some of these are my thoughts. The poem I'm about to read is called The Unseen People, and these are my thoughts on what I see going on around me. And what I think about us black people as a whole. I feel that we are unseen people, okay? The unseen people were carried off from the land and the family and the culture they had known. To be transported to a new country, the trip was treacherous. Some of the unseen people would survive, while others would die or take their own life. For death was far better than what the unseen people would have to endure the trip ahead. Packed in the bottom of boats, side by side with chains, they couldn't move left or right. In the darkness, they cried to their God, but he would not hear their cries. They lay in their own excrements, becoming sick from the motion of the ship. When they landed in the new world called America, they were sent to market to be sold to the highest bidder. Once the unseen people were purchased, their new home was on a plantation. The unseen people became slaves to a group of people who believed they were entitled to enslave other human beings. The others justified their action with the word of God. In the others' mind, they were providing a service by taking these unseen people from a savage life they lived, by giving the unseen people a purpose to serve the entitled. For the unseen people, slavery was a hardship. The unseen people lived in unsanitary conditions, inadequate nutrition, and unrelenting hard labor. Disease and illness were not treated. The unseen people worked even when they were sick. The unseen people sought freedom. Some ran north to Canada, but freedom came in a war between the North and the South that put brother against brother, that nearly ended the Union. When freedom came, it was sweet, but it would not last long. For the others still believed that the unseen people should be still kept as close to slavery as possible. However, the government came up with the 13th Amendment, 1865, outlawing slavery. The 14th Amendment, 1868, citizenship to all persons born here in the United States. And the 15th Amendment, 1870, allowed all citizens the right to vote, no matter what race or party was in control of the government. It would not be enough without the protection of the federal government. Once the Union Army left, the entitled took control by hanging the unseen people, by coming up with laws that kept the unseen people's movement restricted, and laws that kept the unseen on the plantation and in prison. The entitled control of the law and the police, having that kind of control, kept the unseen people in another kind of bondage called Jim Crow. And it became the law of the land. And the federal government helped keep the unseen people oppressed. The unseen people would have to fight to earn their rights. That led to the civil rights. And the people who led the fight for the civil rights would lose their lives. Now here we are today. Not much has changed. We are still fighting for our right to vote. The old ghost from way back has found the way back again to cause division and strife, to try to take away the unseen people's voting rights so they can turn the hand of time in favor of the good old days where the others were kings. Back in those days, people and the unseen people were under their thumb, walking around scared and afraid to stand up for their rights. Back in the good old days, the others want a war. They think it's worth the fight. But the sad thing about the others is that the unseen people will give them that fight, because the good old days were not a happy life for the unseen people who were not white.